So what it was and what it will look like. That, in this particular case, is not an easy way to approach. It's a challenge. When you have a visual at IELTS, when the time frame is one related to the past and another is related to the future. Yes, you heard me correctly. You have two completely opposite time frames. And it's a challenge for many candidates to manage and moderate and to approach the report. So here we are. We say, let's take the challenge together. Welcome to IELTS Juice. The rubric says, the charts below give information on the ages of the populations of Yemen and Italy in 2000 and projections for 2050. All right. So we have a chart. I don't know what the chart is. Well, now we know. Pie chart. Oh, there are four pie charts. 3 categories, 0 to 14, 15 to 59, and 60 plus. Okay, there are 2 countries, Yemen, Italy. Yeah, and this column is for 2000 and this column is 2050. Understood. Well, when we have such a task, there are multiple ways that come to your mind. But the safest one is to try and compare. Remember this word? Make comparisons where relevant. We should compare the items within each time frame because that's more manageable for us. We first focus on the past. So it's easy for us because now we know all the sentences inside that paragraph is going to be past simple. We are going only to talk about the year 2000 and it's in the past. So all the verbs are in the past form and we just start comparing it with another item in the past. That is the easy method. It's not confusing. It's very helpful for our grammar. And then in another paragraph, we are going to focus on the future, 2050. And then we will compare the items in 2050. That is a good approach. Usually, many candidates make this mistake and they just focus on the country. So what it was and what it will look like. That, in this particular case, is not an easy way to approach this report. It is very difficult to manage your sentences, one in the past, the other in the future. And then you just have to focus everything about, for example, Yemen in this case, in one paragraph, and you go from one item to another. Many things might, I don't know, happen. There might be some confusions. And at the end, you will, if you even can pull it off, it is not the best report we can write. So I love the challenge, but at the same time, I want to maximize my score, right? That's why we're here. Now, before I go ahead and read the candidate's response, I need some time to put the visual side by side the candidate's response. So I'll be back very soon. It starts by saying the pie charts plural, compare the breakdown and percentages of people, correct, according to their age groups, 0 to 14 years, 15 to 19 years, and 60 plus. Okay, in Yemen and Italy in the year 2000 and a forecast for 2050. Sounds fair. That gives me a very good framework of what the information is. I would have added the exact number of 4, like the 4 pie charts compare the breakdown. That would have added more accuracy. Units are measured in percentages. Yes, you already told us in percentages. It's basically not necessary. It's not bad, but it's just not necessary. Overall, it is estimated that compared to the year 2000, I need a comma before this and a comma after that. There will be an increase in the percentage of people who are 60 or more in both countries. Okay, in the percentages, because there are two percentages. There are two countries, so there will be two percentages, two changes for two different countries, so it should be plural. Are 60 or more in both countries in 2050. 60 or more. Yes, this white section or portion will increase. Yes, this one will also increase, but just slightly. Okay, okay. I'm not sure that's the... look, I don't want to judge here. I wouldn't write this as an overall because, well, I understand what the writer wanted to say. As you can see, in Yemen, the black portion increased, but the striped one decreased. The striped one decreased in Italy as well, but the other one increased. I understand there are there are different patterns, but for 60 plus in both countries, it was a similar trend. And that can also be said for the striped one. They both decreased. That's why I'm a bit confused. So if I were the writer, I'm not sure if I used this language for my overall. And I wouldn't go for this particular, like 60 plus here. I don't know why. It is correct. It's similar in both countries, but also both countries had a similar pattern, a similar decline in the number of their teenagers or children. You see, 50% to 35, 37%. That's a decline. 14% to 11%, another decline. That's a similarity. Why didn't we choose this one? Or maybe we could go, I would have chosen the one that's different. In Yemen, the black portion, the 15 to 59-year-olds, increased, whereas the same demographic or the same group of people decreased in Italy. That would have made more sense because unlike the other two, which were similar, this one was actually different. And frankly speaking, the black color stands a lot out to me. So I would have used that one. But that's me. I am not judging the sentence here. I'm just offering you better alternatives. That's all. Let's read ahead. In 2000, in Yemen, this comma is extra. I understand. In some cases, it's fine. My recommendation would be just to, in 2000 in Yemen, maybe altogether would be fine. But I have seen some grammarians say that, yeah, putting a comma here is okay. Never mind that. This is fine. 0 to 14-year-olds, because this is subject. And we want to say the people whose age is 0 to 14. So 0 to 14-year-old is an adjective. You can say 0 to 14-year-old people or 0 to 14-year-olds. That both variations would work. Comprised of almost half of the total population by 50.1%. Where are we? Yemen in 2000. Yes, more than 50% of the people were very, very young, 0 to 14 years old, as opposed to the group of 60 plus, which only accounted for 3.6%. Okay, I kind of understand the opposition. Yeah, they are very young and these guys are very old. Okay. The writer believes 60 is old. I'm not judging that. Okay. 15 to... I don't like when we start our sentences with a digit. I seriously prefer a letter, a word here. So maybe instead of this, we can say looking at or regarding, and then we can talk about the rest. 15 to 59-year-olds, again, by 46.3%, got the second place in the aforementioned year. Thank you. We just reported the data here. We tried a little bit here to compare, just a small amount. However, okay, it is predicted that the percentage of this group, I guess, and 60 plus increasing. What kind of verb is this? Will increase, or is going to increase, or is bound to increase to 57.3% and 5.7% respectively in 2050. All right, we're now talking about 2050 and saying however. That's not a good choice. Are they real? I mean, is 2050 the opposite of 2000? This is not a good word here. And in the topic sentence, we just focused on Yemen in 2000. Maybe we needed another sentence just to say that, okay, in this paragraph, we're going to talk about Yemen. Good. And you could go ahead and say that the most important demographic for them were people from the ages of 0 to 59. That, yeah, I'm merging two of them. That is their most important category. And then we can continue saying why they were the most important ones. And we could start by comparing one item at a time from what happened in 2000 and what is projected to happen in 2050. So basically, we needed a better paragraph here. In contrast, the writer loves fighting, like the generational fight, like 60-year-olds fight with 14-year-olds. It's all in contrast. However, as opposed to, they're always in front of each other fighting. We could use better, really better vocabulary here. The percentages of 0 to 14-year-olds will fall to 37.0, which is basically 37. Why 37.0? Oh, because it's written here 37.0. Fine. In 2050. Okay. We're just reporting the data. Nothing fancy. Now let's move on to Italy. Turning to Italy, 15 to 59-year-olds, again, made up less than 2/3, there's a hyphen here, of the total by 61.6. Is that 60? Yeah, correct. 61.6%. This percentage is estimated to decline to 46.2% in 2050. This is difficult. You can see that at some point it tends to become mechanical. You have the data in the past and then the exact data in the future. I guess partially it's the nature of this particular visual, but we could do better. Similarly, in 2000, 0 to 14-year-olds was only 14.3%. Okay. and it is forecasted, you can say forecasted or forecast, both are acceptable by dictionaries, to drop to 11.5% in 2050. 11.5%, yeah. On the other hand, almost a quarter accounted for the group of 60 plus in the year 2000. This percentage will experience a notable increase to 42.3% in 2050. Okay, I love the word notable here. The rest, Italy was very repetitive. We had this pattern, like we talked about one group and the other, and what happens in 2050. What happened in 2000 for the other group, and what will happen for the same group in 2050. Well, as you can see, 222 words, nothing more to say. Let's look at the band descriptors together. Okay, 222 words, the band descriptors. So, two things. I have nothing against vocabulary. The words were fine. The range was fine. Nothing confusing here. However, the connectors were not always good. We had the overuse of contrasting ones, however, as opposed to in contrast, which weren't really in contrast, but I mean, it just, a 14-year-old is not in contrast to a 60-year-old. But that was just overused. Paragraphing focused mostly on the topic was one paragraph about Yemen, another paragraph about Italy, which makes your job a lot more difficult. Now, as for task achievement, things are quite fine, except the first one, it doesn't exceed 7 because we didn't do a very good job in comparing our data. So we just reported. It's fine, reporting is fine, but we just didn't fully address every element of the task that we wanted to see. We just reported everything. We didn't miss out any details. That's why the other elements, there's an 8, there's a 9. The other elements are there, but we could definitely make better comparisons. And yeah, there was one grammar issue that I had to intervene and correct, and that's quite bad. And this one. When you have like a past sentence, then the other one is future. Past, and then the other one is future. It will limit creativity, and it's very difficult. You are focused on the transition from a grammar in the past tense to the grammar in the future. Under the exam conditions, you will end up with not paying attention to what type of actually grammar you're working on. Is it a conditional sentence? Are we talking about relative clauses? What about maybe some lexical grammar, if you know words like although, despite? And then it becomes a little confusing because your focus is devoted to just past tense, future tense, past tense, future tense. And that's fine, but you will get repetitive structures, and that's why you don't have a variety of sentences in front of us. Well, 6.5 is a little bit risky. I can say this essay needs more work, better connectors, and in general, we need maybe a better organization and arrangement of the visuals and the paragraphing. So we actually came up with an improved version of the same rubric. Click on the description and you will see a link that will take you to the IELTS Juice website. On the website, you will have access to the original work, more information about the assessment, the video, and below the video, there is the improved version. Take a look at it. It will help you in understanding what methods you can use to actually improve your essay and reports, in this particular case, to 7 plus at IELTS. And as always, don't forget to subscribe here or down below. I hope I'll be assessing your report or maybe essay next time. Take care.